So F1 22 got a brand new update yesterday, update 1.07, but has it actually fixed the game? Let's find out in this video. So when F1 22 released, I planned so much content for this game. It's a game that I will pick up every year, even though yes, it's a yearly release and we could really just do with a base game and it having, update packs. I kind of thought, you know what, it's a big transition for F1 this year. We've got brand new cars. This is EA's first real chance to actually influence a game, and it should really be up to a good standard. Obviously, Codemasters working on these games for a long time, and now they also have a lot more funding through EA, but we all know what EA are like. So I was kind of on the fence. I was kind of thinking I'm either going to love it or I'm going to hate it. And for me, as soon as I saw them trailers, there was a massive EA influence behind it. Very, FIFA-esque. On the promotional side of the game, but I kind of let that slide. I thought, you know what, we've still got Cody's working on it. They're pretty good at racing games. It's kind of their thing. So I was kind of still hopeful, and then the game came out, and I guess at first I really hated the handling of these cars, and it took a lot of getting used to. However, as I got used to it, I found myself really enjoying sort of just doing Grand Prix and mainly just racing with friends online, because that's kind of what I do now. Through F1 2020 I did a lot of league racing. I was really serious about the game and had an absolute ton of fun doing that. F1 2021 wasn't really my cup of tea. I just didn't sort of like the way the cars handled. And again, when you have the first impression of F1 22 with its handling model and you're not, a huge fan of it, you kind of worry and think, it's happening again. However, a few patches later and the handling is, a lot more where it should be. A lot of people either love it or hate it. It's more focused towards, taking your assists off, and using this game with a wheel is actually a really, really good experience. But a lot of the, complaints about the handling model come from controller players. So with update 1.07, I thought, I'll jump on, I'll, test it with a controller and see how it kind of feels. Obviously, after not really touching the game for, I'd say about a week at this point, 1.06 came out, I gave it a little test. Actually really enjoyed the handling on wheel, and then I've kind of just been busy with other things. But it's just not great on controller. I genuinely just don't like the feel of this game on a controller, and it doesn't matter what setup you put on the car or anything like that. It just feels very, very clunky. Now here, just for sort of aesthetic purposes, I have got pretty much the assists on and the hood off, just to sort of give it a more better looking presentation. I didn't want it very cluttered, because all I'm doing really is just talking about the update. But yeah, handling wise, it just didn't feel very good on controller, and it's kind of a worry because the majority of the player base for this game are controller players. Whether we like it or not, a lot of people will only run controller when it comes to the F1 games. I think EA and Codemasters need to decide whether they want to go full sim or keep it in the simcade style it's been, where yes, will always have a performance advantage after practicing and such, but controller players can always kind of keep up and stay in the battle. That's kind of the feeling I get from the handling when I use controller. I would 100% recommend running a wheel in this game at this point. No excuses. Controller just feels terrible. It doesn't feel fun. It's not responsive, and it just feels like there's no feedback there. Everything feels so heavy and clunky, and yes, maybe this is how these cars are supposed to handle. We'll never really know unless we actually drove an F1 car, which, let's be honest, 99.9% of us never will. But it just doesn't feel quite right for, in the sense of how F1 games have always handled. So I don't know if this is a problem we're going to have all year, where they try this balancing act between keeping it simcade, or they'll go more down the sim racing route, where you're only going to do good if you practice on a wheel. Another huge problem with the game was the AI's straight line speed, and this is another major point from the update. The only other point really that I care about is, you know, the response time on controllers. Now, like I said, when I run F1, I mostly use wheel. However, to keep that balance there with controller plays to, you know, increase, I believe it was the sensitivities to kind of make it, you know, a bit more responsive out of corners. They kind of, you know, sort of retweet that, and there is, I guess, a feeling that the cars are a bit quicker out of corners, a bit more, I guess, sudden and sharp, but it's still just not enough. As you can see, I have realistic performance on in this race, and this is running at 75 AI. I used to be able to run 100 to 105 pretty comfortably on controller, and the AI here at 75 have just gone. Even with that extra response time and you know realistic performance on, I get, my teammate is still absolutely just gone, completely gone. So it's kind of weird trying to find that balance of difficulty, and that's kind of why I don't really cover career mode in this game, is because I can't find the right balance, and I feel like a lot of people are really struggling for that, especially while the AI are just so damn quick out of corners and so quick in a straight line. Just to note, they are looking into that, so hopefully the AI's top speed and such will kind of be, I guess, balanced out in a few updates time. The other big addition, Portimão or Portugal, whichever you want to call it, is back. Sadly, it's not available in a career mode. I get they have to kind of stay with the realism, but you know, being able to kind of customize career mode as tracks get added would be a nice kind of feature. I absolutely love the flow of the track, and it's as good as it ever was. So you'll either love it or you'll hate it. There's no real difference from the previous games. But that is going to be it for today's video. Just kind of my opinions on 1.07. Is the game still broken? I guess in a way. But don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.